In November 2009, a 5-year-old innocent girl, Shaniya Davis, was reported missing from her Fayetteville mobile home in North Carolina. Tragically, her lifeless body was discovered 6 days later in an overgrown field on the Lee-Harnett County line, revealing signs of sexual assault and suffocation. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another crime story. In today's video, we delve into the heart-wrenching case that shook the nation, involving the horrifying death of Shaniya Davis and the subsequent trial of her mother, Antoinette Davis, and Mario Andrette McNeill as prime suspects. Be sure to watch this video till the end to get all the details of this harrowing tragedy. And if you're new here, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. So let's get started with the video. On November 10, 2009, a 29-year-old woman, Antoinette Davis, walked into Fayetteville police station to report the missing of her 5-year-old daughter, Shaniya Davis. But what Antoinette Davis didn't know was that the police would begin to generate information on the whereabouts of her daughter right at the moment. She was a prime suspect in the mysterious disappearance of her daughter, but she didn't know. It didn't stop with Antoinette Davis. The police went ahead to talk to other family members in a quest to gather more information on the disappearance of Shaniya Davis. After about 4 days of questioning, Davis's statement eventually led the police to 32-year-old Mario Andrette McNeill, the man who is alleged to have abducted Shaniya. The police did their investigation and questioning, and in a short time, they discovered that McNeill was last seen with Shaniya a few days after her disappearance at Sanford Hotel, thanks to surveillance camera footage provided by the hotel. However, McNeill insisted that he took the young girl to the hotel at the request of her aunt, Carrie Lockhart Davis, and then handed the girl off to somebody he thought was a relative who would ensure that she went to school. Now, as all this was going on, authorities were busy combing the hotel, collecting samples and any information that could be useful in unlocking the disappearance of Shaniya. Eventually, on November 16, 2009, the police, through McNeill's original defense attorney, got a tip-off that enabled them to find Shaniya's body dumped in a wooded area in the Kudzu Path on the Lee-Harnett County line. Authorities conducted an autopsy on Shaniya's body, and it was determined that she had been sexually assaulted and suffocated and left to die a slow, agonizing death. A medical examiner who released the autopsy report indicated in writing that the investigators are convinced the girl was used to pay off a drug debt. It was a somber moment for Shaniya's relatives, who were still in shock about the cause of her kidnapping and slaying. In fact, so touching was the news that celebrated basket star Shaquille O'Neal offered to pay for the funeral of the little girl. Hundreds of people attended a vigil for Shaniya the day her body was found, including her distraught father, Bradley Lockhart, who claimed Shaniya's birth was a result of a one-night stand, and that Davis raised Shaniya for the first year of her life before asking him to provide a more stable environment, on which they settled for verdict verbal agreement. Meanwhile, Mario McNeill was charged with the rape, kidnapping and murder of Shaniya, with no room for bond. He was held at the Central Prison in Raleigh pending investigation and could eventually face the death penalty if convicted of murder. On the other hand, Antoinette Davis was arrested and charged with human trafficking, child prostitution, filing a false police report, and obstructing a police investigation. She would later be released on a $51,000 bond from the North Carolina Correctional Institution for Women, where she was held in a safe-keeping cell. The trial for Shaniya's murder was, however, delayed after the defense attorneys, led by Terry Alford, expressed concerns about McNeill's competency. But after psychiatrists evaluated McNeill, he was found competent to stand trial. This would now give room for the smooth trial of the two following the murder of Shaniya Davis. In what would end up to be a 4-year trial process seeking to grant Shaniya Davis's relatives justice, prosecutors led by Cumberland County District Attorney Billy West revealed a lot of crucial information to the court regarding the kidnapping and murder of Shaniya. In the preliminary trial sessions, West revealed that McNeill had previously lent Davis $200 to buy food and pay for a hotel room when she and her children were homeless. West invalidated the initial report that claimed the $200 debt was drug-related. He added, saying that on November 10, 2009, McNeill visited the Fayetteville mobile home park where Davis lived to have sex with someone else. However, when that failed, McNeill went straight to Davis's home and demanded Davis pay the $200 debt or instead have sex with him. West proceeded to reveal to the court that this was the moment when McNeill went ahead and took Shaniya after Davis refused to either pay the $200 or to sleep with McNeill. West also informed the court that the feces-covered blanket was discovered in a trash can outside Davis's home, a sign that Shaniya might have been sexually assaulted inside their home, probably at the consent of her mother. Based on the extensive evidence presented before the court, Cumberland County grand jury indicted Davis in July 2011 on fresh charges including first-degree murder, indecent liberties with a child, felony child abuse, felony sexual servitude, human trafficking, and sexual offense of a child by an adult offender, among other charges. Davis, who was already free on bond, was arrested again and placed in the Cumberland County Jail. And this time around she was denied bond on the murder charge and issued with bonds totaling a whopping $1.5 million for the other charges. However, prosecutors noted that they planned to pursue the death penalty against McNeill and not Davis. Meanwhile, the prosecutors were working hard to link McNeill to the murders of Shaniya. Led by West, the prosecutors told jurors that they discovered cocaine and some of McNeill's pubic hair in the hotel room where they were last seen days after her disappearance. The prosecutors also noted that phone calls made by McNeill on that fateful day are linked to the towers near the North Carolina location where Shaniya's body was discovered. West also revealed that the soil found on the gas pedal in McNeill's car was consistent with the soil found in the area where Shaniya's body was found. But Terry Alford, the defense attorney representing McNeill, insisted that his client didn't kill her and that he knew nothing about what had happened to her after the hotel. Weeks later, State Bureau of Investigation agents testified before the jurors that it was clear that there was scant evidence found to link McNeill to the death of Shaniya. First, there was no evidence of any semen or swabs taken from Shaniya's body and clothing, and secondly, the DNA connected in the hotel's comforter where she was spotted last before her death, that from the girl's clothing and that from the blanket found in a trash can outside of their home did not match McNeill. However, McNeill didn't escape the fact that he was a contributor to the whole scheme that led to the murder of Shaniya. For one, the hair found in the hotel and the blanket in the trash outside Shaniya's home are consistent with McNeill. And second, he confessed to abducting the girl and that he was up with her at the hotel. Now, upon presenting their findings and realizing the scanty evidence linking McNeill to the literal murder of Shaniya, the prosecutors offered McNeill a plea deal in which they won't be seeking the death penalty if McNeill pleads guilty to the kidnapping, raping, and murdering of Shaniya. But in a surprising turn of events, McNeill rejected the plea deal, opting to proceed with the trial, which could send him to death row if convicted. He continued to insist that he didn't kill the girl. While making closing arguments, prosecutors led by Billy West requested the jury to convict McNeill of kidnapping, murdering, and rape based on strong circumstantial evidence. However, McNeill on his part only requested the jury to first watch his interview with the police before making a ruling. And after the jury deliberated on the matter, McNeill was convicted of kidnapping and killing Shaniya, but he was acquitted of the raping charges. Eventually, after listening to the closing evidence on whether McNeill should be sentenced to death or life in prison without parole, the jury eventually sentenced McNeill to death. Shaniya's mother, Antoinette Davis, on the other hand, was sentenced to 17 years in prison after pleading guilty to several charges in the death of her daughter. So there you have it, guys, the heart-wrenching story of the murder of 5-year-old Shaniya Davis. And as you've seen, indeed, justice was served to the relatives of the little angel. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more intriguing content like this. Thanks for watching.